just as quickly as that began and ended, so has our time with COVID. I want to share with you a little bit about getting in alignment, understanding your purpose and getting in alignment. I don't know about you, but March 2020 came and I was preparing for spring break. I was trying to decide what it was that I was going to do, what kind of vacation I was going to have, how I was going to experience 2020's spring break. However, right before that happened, I got a call at work. I work at a university in higher education. We were called in and we were told we were not going to be coming back. Not coming back? What do you mean? What do you mean we're not coming back? We're going to be working from home, and so we want you to bring your computer in, and we're going to make sure that you are prepared to work remotely. And just like that, spring break changed. And what I thought was going to be a week of vacation became a week of what I would probably call, if I was 12, punishment. Why? Because we were all sequestered to home. Now, home is not a bad place to be, but if you're determining and deciding that you're going on vacation, to be stuck at home now changes that. And so I really want to talk a little bit about what happened in March of 2020. Many of us got and became unaligned. Now, I don't know about you, but I remember when I got my first car. Think about your first car. Mine was a Pacer. And for those of y'all that are young and don't know what a Pacer is, Google it. I promise you'll laugh. But a Pacer is much like a skate with a lot of windows on wheels. And that's what I had. I had a Pacer. And it had a cassette. Not an 8-track, because I'm not that old. But in my cassette player, I would play some of the best music. And when we had something like, Billie Jean, or something like, Beat It, sometimes your hands would go up while you were supposed to be driving, because, many times we like to wave our hands in the air and wave them like we just don't care while we're driving. And there's this little thing called alignment that we don't really realize is there until we take our hands off the wheel. And when we take our hands off the wheel, we realize that maybe my car is going to keep going straight. If my car is aligned, it'll keep on going down the lane like it's supposed to. But if it's not, you're immediately going to go to the right or to the left. Now, here's what happens when we get unaligned and our car veers either to the right or to the left. The problem becomes that sometimes we want to realign it and we do it too hard. When we've been drifting to the left and we overcompensate to the right, sometimes we hit the curb. And that's what happened. March of 2020. Some of us hit the curb. Now you say, well, Coach, how did we hit the curb? I mean, we were just going through life and life was happening. Yes, it was, but it did not happen the way we planned for it to happen. It did not happen the way we had in our minds that it was going to happen. And because of that, we got out of alignment. Now, I just want to tell you just for a few minutes, how do we get back in alignment? Because I know some of you are struggling. I was struggling. So as we begin to go into alignment, I just want to tell you that I have a cute little acronym for align. And I want to just tell you a little bit about that as we go forward. A, we acknowledge that we are out of balance. See, before we can get ourselves together, before we can get ourselves fixed up, we have to acknowledge that there is something wrong. I have to acknowledge and I have to come to the realization that my life is not on the track that I thought it was supposed to be on. See, if we're real honest, COVID just brought up some things that we already knew. That we were going too much, that we were doing too much, that we were in too many meetings, that we had our schedule packed so tight that we could barely breathe. But March 2020 came and voila, all of our schedules were completely cleaned. We had nowhere to go because everybody was at home. Everything was shut down. And we began to realize that we were doing a lot. We were at a lot of places. Our schedules were totally packed. And this time of COVID helped us to realize that we were out of balance. So we needed to acknowledge that we were out of alignment. L, I need you, just like I need me, to learn how to play and to laugh again. I don't know about you, but sometimes when we get to the place where we are struggling and where we are really having a hard time with all of the things that are happening and all of the stuff that is going on, when we can just turn on some music and we can just get in the kitchen and we can jam to the music, when we can dance and we don't have to worry about anybody looking at us and anybody judging us or anybody making any decisions for us, we need to learn to play again. We need to learn to laugh again. We need to learn how to be that little kid that's still on the inside that really just wants to break out. We need to learn to live again, to love again, in ways in which we have forgotten because our life was so busy and we were so out of alignment. In all thy ways acknowledge him and he shall direct thy path. The Message Bible kind of says it this way. It says that as we began to move forward in Christ, we have to know that we must acknowledge him because he's the one in control. See, the biggest thing that we have had issues with is that we've been in control. We've been in control of everything that's happening. We've been in control of our purpose. We've been in control of all the things that were going on. But what we didn't really realize is that while we thought we were in control, we really weren't. And so we've got to acknowledge, whatever you choose to call your higher power, I choose to call him Jesus. G, grace. Give yourself and give others grace. You say, well, why? You know, we all are struggling. Yes, we all are struggling. And in doing that, we all need to extend to each other and to ourselves grace. And what is grace? Grace is just that time. It is that expanse. It is that unmerited, undeserved time and space that we give to our friends and to ourselves, so that when we have that quick comeback, when we have that meltdown, when we have that time of not knowing exactly what is going on, we can extend that love, we can extend that peace to someone else. And no. Just look at somebody and tell them no. I know that it feels like a cuss word. I know that it feels like that you are swearing at someone when you tell them no. But I promise you, if you want to be free, if you want to change your life, if you want to be the person that you are called to be, you have to learn the power of the word no. It's not a cuss word. It doesn't require explanation. Just say no. So if we're going to align our lives, and if we're going to get in balance, then it requires us to understand our purpose and understand what God has called us to be. See, each of us have taken our clues from everybody out there, and we've listened to everybody but ourselves. And it is time for us to begin to listen to what God has called us to be. Who are you? And where is your alignment? See, when I looked at Bridgestone and I try to figure out, because, I'm not really that mechanically inclined, and I looked to see, what does it really mean to be aligned? And it just means that the tires are being angled so that they hit the ground in the most effective way. If you will acknowledge your situations, if you will learn to laugh and to love and to really have grace for other people, if you will acknowledge whatever you choose to call your higher power, and if you will learn the power of the word no, I promise you that you will be able to realign yourself and fulfill the purpose that you have.